Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today, Thursday morning. It's August 6th, 2020. It's your boy, the man they call Meathead. You know, it's funny, I say it's your boy, but then I say the man. It's kind of contradicting. I am the man they call Meathead. You know, I am well-aged, well-seasoned, vintage Meathead, if you will. And it is Thursday morning, and as per the usual, we're supposed to have Dameon Nelson. But guess who's on the line? It's Dameon Nelson. Good morning, Dameon.
I'm confused about this man-boy confusion that you have.
There's no man-boy thing going on. I am the man they call Meathead, but I was using a pop reference to "It's Your Boy." I'll hip you one day.
I'm gonna need to be brought up to speed here.
Yeah, I'll get you brought up to speed. Speaking of bringing it up to speed, news popped yesterday afternoon that we need
Wait
to be
a minute.
brought.
I don't get to say good morning. Thank you for having me finally on the show.
Oh no, you wanted to go to man-boy right away, so I figured you were just done. The news popped yesterday afternoon about, not my boy and not your boy. We were always on the Michael side. Marty Jannetty news.
Yeah.
We understand that on occasion, social media is going to be the downfall of civilization, and people get into these drunken, mind-altering rants of some sort. Marty put out yesterday that apparently he killed a man when he was 13, a guy he used to buy weed from. And, he's...
That's how that works, right?
Yeah, and at the end of this little rant he had, he was pictured with a Jamaican woman. He said he's jealous. He said he's done with her. I honestly hope the police went to her and go find her, make sure she's okay. Dameon, how much of this do you buy? I mean, are we talking 100%, 75%, 50%? Is Marty Jannetty a serial killer?
It's tricky. I don't want to speculate at all. I mean,
not Beastie Boys tricky. I mean, real tricky.
We could talk about what he said. I mean, what he said was salacious. What he said was challenging. What he said was alarming. You got to wonder about his state of mind for putting that out there. And it was, of course, on Facebook, which is the downfall of any good man. But, there's an investigation.
Have they made that movie yet? The movie where a guy goes down because of Facebook? I mean, because it should be on Lifetime, because that's the My Man Did Me Wrong.
Hey, that's television for women. I understand there's an investigation now by the local authorities, whether he was 13 or not, statute of limitations, all this other stuff. It just doesn't look good for Marty. And what I'm more concerned about is his personal well-being. Whether he did this or not, to be throwing that stuff out there is concerning. And, it's the door's opened. He opened it. So whatever ramifications come of this, they're all due to him. Yes. We will see what happens with it. But, I don't know what to say. It's a shame. Clearly, he needs some help. He needs some assistance because, and if it was a joke, it was a joke. But you can't do that. You can't do that in this day and age. When you put something out there socially like that, it becomes your voice. It becomes who you are. It becomes what you're thinking. And the fact that he put this out there, whether true or not, requires action by those who see it, and that action is now taking place. Mm-hmm. I guess what we can now imagine is perhaps season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring has some new subject matter.
Not only that, I mean, isn't there going to be a Netflix special now on To Catch a Murderer or whatever that one was called about Avery?
I'm Chris Hansen. I never watched the second part of that.
I never watched any of that, and it's ironic because you're talking about To Catch a Murderer, right, from Netflix?
Yes.
No, and I'll be completely honest. This is off topic here, but I now live in the Fox Valley where this happened.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. You need to watch it.
A little side story here. I sat next to a former law enforcement guy who is involved in some of that, and that's where it's going to end. So I'm just not going to watch.
Fair enough. It's quite intriguing television. So if you could just... By the way, speaking of Netflix, have you caught the new Unsolved Mysteries series, the reboot?
No, I saw it. Haven't launched it yet. I mean, honestly, Dameon and folks that are listening here, my go-to is going to be dick and fart jokes. So the real stuff, that's back burner for me.
This is a family show. Watch your language.
I mean, poop jokes.
People are driving to work, driving off the road because of the words you're using. Stop that.
No, I mean, honestly, you guys know the man they call Meathead. Not the boy, but the man they call Meathead.
I'm still confused.
It's got to be comedy first. The most serious thing, Netflix did pick up the final season of Designated Survivor, which I haven't finished yet. But
oh God, what do you do with your life?
I have kids. I mean, I'm like Keith Slater up in the street. I have kids. So, I work with my kids every day. I clean the garage. I mean, I do dad stuff. When did you ever think in the 22 plus years you've known me, Dameon, I'd be doing dad stuff?
Oh my God, don't remind me. I've known you that long.
22 years, my friend. And I can say my friend.
Was there some wrestling on last night?
There was. AEW and NXT. We're going to start with AEW. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So AEW literally kicked off with a 12-man tag. It was the team of Page and Omega, FTR, the Bucks, taking on the Dark Order. Did you know that there was that many members of the Dark Order, let alone they had another match later on in the night?
I had no idea, but what I do wonder is, should people who we don't know, who are under hoods, masks, if you will, be that good? Because there was a lot of good wrestling in that matchup. And what I was most impressed about was there was not the multiple wait for it moments.
Yes.
As they set up moves. It was very fluid. It was very well done. Stories were told with Dash getting injured, if you will, in the matchup. Adam Page.
Dash was the Elizabeth of this match, right?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I was entertained. It was a little long. It was a good opener, but, has been talked about on this program, especially Primetime with Shane Helms, which we will do again tonight live at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fight TV.
Fantastic.
They started off strong, started off hot. Both shows did, actually. And the goal is to engage and keep that audience. And AEW did a great job with this 12-man tag match opener. So
when you do primetime tonight, or the Super Show, or am I emphasizing the wrong word?
Super Show! I went to the Tony Chimmel School of Ring Announcing.
I, as you know, I went to the David Pinzer School.
Oh, high then low, high then low.
Yep, 12-man tag team match. Yeah. But I want you to ask this question. I know that WWE is strictly like a 50-50 booking type deal. How is it that AEW can make the Dark Order, who won this match, but we're not really the feature ones? How is it they can make the losing teams, the less prominent ones, look so good, consistent?
They did a great job of it. Again, it was a long match. I thought everyone fared well. I was surprised with the victory, Brody Lee getting that huge lariat, getting the pinfall victory. It was good. It told a story. It was meaningful. I still struggle with Brody Lee in AEW. I don't know that he's any different from his time in WWE. Granted, he's got a whole faction behind him now.
Sure.
But I'm missing the special sauce, if you will, that is Brody Lee. I'm not knocking him at all. But it was
Brody Lee was better last night, but I understand it. I understand where you're coming from.
This win matters. This win matters that he got last night, and I think we're going to see forward progression from it.
Okay, so we're not going to run down every match because we got a lot to talk about still. But the best
Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. Thanks. That's all we talk about. And Cody.
The Best Friends win over Santana and Ortiz, and they smashed up the Best Friends' mom's van.
My mom's van.
Dude, are they going to end up having a mom's van on a forklift match?
I thought about this as it was happening, Meathead, last night. Tony Schiavone, anywhere he goes, something on a pole match would seem to follow.
Yeah. Where's the white Hummer? And I'm leaning towards our special guest moderator for the first time in over 20 years on TNT. The Bish is back.
He's back. He's better than ever. Eric Bischoff returning to TNT. He was the special guest moderator for the debate. The Super Wednesday. Good job, AEW, by the way, taking a play off of Super Tuesday. The Super Wednesday debate between Orange Cassidy and Le Champion, Chris Jericho. Bischoff did a great job. And in fact, you notice there was a bit of jab there as, what were they talking about, global warming or something like that? Bischoff, sure, who is a complete total Republican against global warming. And that's his right to be, fine, whatever. But the fact that he advocated for it a little bit during this debate was interesting. But hey, you know what? Orange Cassidy keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. Jericho, Cassidy, this storyline, this is going to be bold. And in fact, I'm going to say it. You know what? I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say that the follow-ups or the runners-ups also reside in the same company, that being AEW. But this feud between Jericho and Orange Cassidy, it's the best feud in wrestling today, by far.
It's wow. I'll tell you what, and I mean, the whole joke was one, and he even related to it. Yeah, I get it. You're trying to make fun of me, a guy who doesn't talk. And then he spit out that whole bit about the global warming 1/8 of an inch. I audibly laughed so loud in the house I got asked what was going on because I thought it was fantastic. It was great stuff. And again, he did Wrestling 101. Wrestling 101. Basically, he didn't put down his opponent, but he said, look, you're making fun of me. I'm a guy with my hands in my pockets. But what are you if you lose to me? So when I beat you, how embarrassed will you be? So he basically lifted up his opponent to make his win, which will come next week, even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it was well done. The story continues. We don't know when actually, the match will happen next week. But this is a good stopgap between these two as we try to figure out what is going to be the case or the story between Jericho and Tyson. And I think AEW is a bit conflicted here because they want to save that match for a match or an event where it can be appreciated. And I'm not sure that's going to be all out coming up the first week of September from the 5th. Organization, because who knows where we're going to be as a world situation at that point, specifically in the United States, with whether or not they could have live fans in attendance. And I don't think you're going to garner the interest that you would at Daly's place without fans there as you would there or wherever with Mike Tyson and the fans, live fans in the arena. They've got an investment there they need to protect, and I think they're going to be careful with that. And for one, I am a happy man that Orange Cassidy is the new foil to Chris Jericho, if you will. The two play off each other incredibly well.
They do.
Cassidy, everything he does, understated. Jericho, everything he does, overstated. It's perfect.
22 years, Dameon. Would you have ever thought that you and I are 100% on the same page on that?
Oh, we're not. Let's find some reason to disagree.
Well, I don't like the color of his hair.
Bischoff's? He's old.
No. Well, they mentioned that too. Last time he was on here, he had darker hair.
Yeah.
No, it's.
Well, I mean, you could add Bischoff down to the blacklist of WWE, unfortunately. But
yeah,
and that's interesting, Meathead. I'll say this: WWE, we know that they are much like the NFL, and I respect the respect they have for themselves and the fact that they treat themselves as a bit of an elitist group, and they should. But you look at some of the people, Jake the Snake Roberts, Vicky Guerrero, now probably
Billy
Teddy
Gunn.
Long for participating in that pay-per-view last week, and the worst pay-per-view ever. But now Eric Bischoff added to that list. They're going to act like they never existed, at least for the short term. And that's really a shame. But, I get it. They got to protect their brand. It's for them to do what they think is best to do. And it was good. It was significant. Bischoff back on TNT for the first time in over 20 years. That's substantial. I mean, he's the one who made wrestling on TNT what it was. And tonight he returns to what probably is going to be, again, for fourth week in a row, the top-rated program on the night on TNT.
I think so. Let's do a recap here real quick on AEW. The stuff we didn't mention yet was Matthew Hardy getting color with Sammy Guevara and Moxley getting color against Darby Allin. The MJF interfering in the main event for the title. Moxley still wins, still champion. AEW was just fantastic. I'll tell you what my viewing patterns are. I do get in both programs, but to be honest, it's AEW first and then NXT on the fast forward.
AEW is the one I'm most excited to see on Wednesday nights. There's not another night in wrestling that I look forward to watch wrestling. And I keep thinking it's because of the battle between AEW and NXT, but no, I'm actually looking forward on a weekly basis
to AEW.
And you can judge that as you want. And, you can think about what Vince McMahon said on their company conference call, their quarterly earnings call just a week ago, I believe it was, is that AEW is new. But I would even go as far to say they're not new, they're fresh. And it feels like destination television every week because you don't know what they're going to do. I watched side by side AEW and NXT on about a 30, 45-minute tape delay, if you will, my own self-imposed tape delay last night. And as I'm doing the two-screen experience, I'm like, I just, and it pains me to say this, I just don't care about NXT because it's just not as exciting. They had a great show, but just not as exciting as AEW, and AEW did deliver. Now, there were some matches that seemed to be, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound worse than it sounds, but filler. It wasn't filler, but we had destinations. We had the opening 12-man. We knew it was going to be Mox versus Darby Allin in the main. We knew the debate was going to happen. There were places to go. The Matthew Hardy and Sammy Guevara thing was great. Matt Hardy bled like a stuck pig. That chair that Guevara threw at him, those two, when they had their fight, it felt real. And that's what you want in wrestling. It felt real. It felt like there was real hatred there. It felt like there was real animosity there, and it was good. Good job, Sammy. Good job, Matthew. Well delivered.
Amazing that we're calling him Matthew now. He welcomed us to the Manaverse. Let's talk NXT. They started off right away with Rhea Ripley taking on Dakota Kai, and this is a number one contenders match to take on Io Shirai at TakeOver. In a bit of a surprise, Dakota Kai wins and will take on Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship.
Another physical matchup on NXT. I like the fact that we're seeing so much more physicality between the female performers on that show. I think it's a really, really great thing. They did a good match. Good way to show a performance from those two superstars on NXT.
Sure. And you mentioned the word filler, and this is never, again, a slight on anybody, but NXT felt like it had more filler because we did also have places to go. We had to see the triple threat, and we had to see the tag team match, which was going to be titled, and it was announced that Pat McAfee was in the building as well. So Bronson Reed defeating Thorne, I thought, Bronson Reed looked strong as he's supposed to. The triple threat, Damian Priest wins against Ridge Holland and Oni Lorcan. I really thought this was kind of a gimme. It was just a layup, really, for Damian Priest. Keith Lee against Cameron Grimes. Keith Lee had almost a zombified focus, just like an intent focus. I thought his performance, non-wrestling wise, looking like he is just focused on what he's doing, was fantastic.
Keith Lee took a turn last week. And I don't mean like a heel or face turn, but he took a turn and got more intense, character turn, more serious, more, I guess, intense. I'll say that again. And it was good. It was very well done, and we saw that continuation last night on NXT. I'm liking it. I think we needed that depth of character from Keith Lee as champion. And, it showed again tonight. It showed again last night.
I loved the promo that we got out of Legado del Fantasma beating up on Breezango. I really thought, I felt it. It was probably, I'd say, the second best thing out of NXT was this promo felt real to me. You talk about, you make a joke out of, Lucha Libre. Well, this is serious. You disrespect me. No mas. Get him.
Yeah. I loved it. It was great. And that faction's been doing great. Of course, you've got the former DJ Zuma Iron in that group, and I've long been a fan of his. He's an amazing and tremendous talent, but all in all, the group is fantastic. I thought that they delivered incredibly well on NXT last night.
Again, not a filler, no slight on the talent, but Tegan Knox defeats Indy Hartwell, which leads us to the Tegan Knox-Hartwell match did have Pat McAfee doing commentary. Now, the main event, Undisputed Era, which is going to be Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly taking on Imperium. Now, Imperium's going to get the win, but I think this is what made it not as interesting to watch as, say, the AEW. I already knew where we were going. You already knew this is where we were going. We knew this 2 weeks ago when McAfee had Adam Cole on the show. They're setting it up. It's right in front of us, so it doesn't feel as fresh. It doesn't feel as exciting, but a couple verbal jabs. I understand Pat McAfee in the interview he had with Triple H. Triple H says, you know what? You're a poker. You're a poker. You poke at people and see what their reactions are. I get that. I've been doing that since I was 12. That's what I do. Go back in the history books, folks. You should see Damien's vein right above his forehead just start to pulsate. But I get it. So, he shot in a little verbal jab there, called him an angry little elf. That was the key right there, because Adam Cole's going to be sensitive. He's got a Napoleon complex. So, Undisputed Era do not win the match due to Adam Cole walking away. Technically, here's what I didn't like about this whole thing, the main event segment. It was convoluted in commentary. You had two separate two-person commentary teams. Confusing. Secondly, when they needed you to hear the business, boy, that building went silent.
Yeah.
It was yuck. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where this McAfee Cole thing is going. Clearly, it's probably going to be a match at NXT TakeOver 30. I'm not sure if I want to see that, but at the same time, what would they do with Cole right now? And I'm not, WWE is thirsty always for that mainstream attention. This will probably garner that, but
right. And McAfee's not a slouch physically speaking. I mean, he's a big boy.
Yeah, who did he play for? The Cardinals or
Colts?
The Dodgers?
Indianapolis Colts. He was punter of the decade, so I mean, he was a good player. He was good at his position.
So he should actually be in a story now with Randy Orton.
He should, but he did use the punt on Adam Cole.
He did. I'm not going to knock it. Let's see where it goes. McAfee's obviously a good character. I wonder if this is the Gronk replacement, because it seems that way to a degree.
Well, if it is win, because, I mean, there's way more with Pat McAfee than there is with Rob Gronkowski.
Really? What's your problem with Gronk? He had charisma.
Nothing. There's more with Pat McAfee.
All right.
Pat McAfee was already under WWE contract. Actually, he got a 10-year deal for content.
Where was he?
But he makes content in the background. So he's already been under like a content deal of some sort.
Well, let's see what happens between those two. I mean, it'll be good for what it will be. I don't care.
Like I said, if you're right, where we're getting a Gronkowski replacement, which is fine, I'd prefer McAfee because McAfee is a character. Like I said, he's kind of he's a prick. I mean, he'll play it off like he's not, but then again, I understand him. So maybe that's why I side with him on this particular thing, because I understand what his motive is and what his, what makes him tick on this one. So, Dameon, we've got coming up tonight, the Super Show. See, I always emphasize the wrong part.
Super Show.
That's my ongoing joke. Whenever I'm talking with, say, Matthew or Dave or Linda, I emphasize the Super Show. You gotta figure out where the emphasis is going. But Shane Helms, David Hero, Dameon Nelson, live at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, on all of our outlets. The Facebooks, the YouTubes, Fight TV, one of our great partners. We're going to be able to watch that live. I try to sneak in a live viewing every once in a while. Hopefully nobody at work. At the other thing I do is noticing me watching. But I do try to sneak it in there.
Don't get in trouble.
I try not to get in trouble. Hey, PWR draft stuff, too, real quick. We have the next show.
Yes! Winning! I'm in first place. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You all doubted me. But here I am winning, dominating, destroying everyone else in the PWR Fantasy Draft. Come next year, 2021, WrestleMania, Los Angeles, when the world is back to normal, my hand will be raised in victory over all the rest of you jabrones as the new, again, PWR Fantasy Draft Champion. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Do you folks know that I normally don't bring up the mixer for my shows because when I have Linda, Dave, and Matthew on, I don't need to mute them. When we have you on, I think I'm going to bring up my mixer again because you need to get muted on stuff like that. But seriously. You're winning if you don't count in myself and Dave and everybody else above you. So,
well, you guys don't matter. I'm winning.
When we do this ceremony live, by the way, it will be an in-studio show.
Hold on. Wait a minute. My monitor went out. What happened?
When we do this live celebration, if you will, championship celebration, when I have my parade and when the balloons are falling and I get the baton, I get the crown, and I get the robe because nobody beats me. I'm like the Wiz. And I will do a parade. Trust me, folks. Mark your calendars right after WrestleMania, which is the last official event for the PWR draft. The season goes from Backlash up to WrestleMania. That Monday is a Super Monday. You'll get an announcement of who the new PWR draft champion is. So
thank you, parade, that's going to be, I mean, I know you have to get permits and all that. That's going to be about the span of one block, right? You'll just go to the end of the block, turn around, go to the end of the block.
Doesn't matter. I do my Wiz walk. Folks, go back and look at Seinfeld, the Wiz episode. That's how I'll be in my parade. Because nobody beats me.
A parade of losers is what it's going to be.
Hey, folks, I joke about this throughout the week, Monday through Friday, but I check the stats on a daily basis. It's working. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Make sure you're telling your friends. Comments. We are getting the word out there. Even though Dameon's on the show, we are doing better every single day. So get out there. Follow us on Twitter as well, at PWR360. Dameon, what's your Twitter handle?
My real name, at Dameon Nelson.
Okay, and then I'm at WCW Meathead. So for Dameon Nelson, or at Dameon Nelson, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.